Tonight on KGW News, holding an arsonist accountable.
I am truly sorry. I thank God that no one was injured that day.
Remorse and a prison sentence for the man who started a massive fire that did millions in damages. Plus, taking a steep toll on Oregon's youth.
Sneaky thing like fentanyl bears learning about.
The new law that helps make sure the dangers of the deadly drug stay top of mind. And later, hope heats up for the summer at one of Oregon's most popular spots to cool off.
It means everything, because without a full lake, we don't have a season.
As 3 years after devastating wildfires, Detroit Lake bounces back. Good evening, and we begin tonight with 7 families in mourning after last week's horrific crash on I-5 near Albany. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. Investigators say the 7 farm workers died on their way home Thursday afternoon when a semi-truck driver, allegedly under the influence, plowed into their van. Our Catherine Cook talked to community leaders and advocates working to reach out. Catherine.
David, that includes the families of the 7 victims who died and 4 who survived with injuries. This was one of the deadliest highway crashes in Oregon history. A tragedy leaders in the Latino community are responding to in every way they can. 7 people died in this crash on I-5 near Albany Thursday, and 4 were injured. Investigators say they were in this van returning home to families who now mourn their loss. On Monday, OSP released their names. They range in age from 30 to 60 years old and lived in the Salem-Woodburn area. The victims were all farm workers from Mexico, according to a statement from the Mexican consulate.
We were in shock and devastated, and so we knew, that we had to act.
Anthony Veliz is with Poder, Oregon's Latino leadership network. Over the weekend, he and other local leaders planned how they would help survivors and the victims' families. One resource they're offering is free emotional support. Veliz co-owns Oyen, a bilingual, bicultural behavioral mental health clinic. Besides the victims' families, they're also helping former coworkers.
I mean, they're devastated, right? They don't know what to do. Obviously, shock, sorrow, grief, all the emotions. And what we're really there is to provide them someone to talk to and listen to and help them, even though it's so new, but through this grieving process. Aware
Food Bank in Woodburn is providing food to victims' families, and Veliz says the Oregon Farm Bureau is working with the victim's employer to create a GoFundMe.
The beautiful thing is our community is a really giving community, and there are people just waiting to help. And we're trying to coordinate that and do it in a respectful way.
On Friday, the man accused of causing the crash faced a Marion County judge. Police say 52-year-old Lincoln Smith of California was driving this semi-truck. He faces DUI and manslaughter charges. Witnesses told investigators that Smith had been swerving before veering off the road. The truck slammed into the victim's van, which had been parked on the shoulder. The force pushed the van into another semi-truck parked nearby. In court, the husband of one of the victims asked for justice.
There is no power that will be able to give me back my wife.
Teníamos planes juntos como familia.
We had plans together as a family.
In the wake of tragedy, Veliz says this community is doing everything they can to help, though they know nothing they can offer.
We're really trying to hold them up,
will ever be enough. Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. A man shot in the Metzger neighborhood early Thursday morning has now died. Authorities have identified him as 24-year-old Pedro Prieto Lopez. They say he was found shot near Southwest Hall Boulevard and Locust Street north of Tigard in Washington County. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition, but died over the weekend. No word on any suspects. In Eastern Oregon, authorities are searching for a Vancouver man who has gone missing. Friends say 40-year-old Lan Hung Nguyen walked away from his campsite Friday night and has not been seen since. The group was camping in Farewell Bend State Park, that's along the Snake River in Baker County near the Idaho border. The sheriff's office says they found Nguyen's shoes near the campsite. They say he may have fallen down an embankment and into the river. And authorities are asking for your help finding a missing Portland teenager. 14-year-old Julian Jace Matney has been missing since last Tuesday. State officials say he is in foster care and could be in danger. He's described as 5'7" with dark hair and brown eyes. If you have any information on Jace, call police or the Oregon Child Abuse Hotline. Now to an update on the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students. Brian Coburger told a judge he understood the charges against him today. Then when it came to time to enter a plea, he stayed silent, with the judge entering a not guilty plea on his behalf. Now, Coburger was indicted by a grand jury last week, eliminating the need for a preliminary hearing in the November murders. Meanwhile, last Saturday, all 4 victims received posthumous degrees from the university, and the father of one of them, Madison Mogan, talked to NBC News about how he wants his daughter to be remembered.
I want people to remember Maddie as just being a loving, caring, just beautiful person who everybody just misses so much, and we're just all so proud of. And this has been the most difficult thing that any of us will ever go through, and it's just important to stay close to your loved ones and your family in times like this.
Coburger's murder trial is now tentatively set for October. Prosecutors have not decided if they'll seek the death penalty. An arsonist who admitted to starting a fast-moving grass fire in northeast Portland will spend 2 years in prison. Alan Singerhouse was sentenced nearly 4 years after he started a blaze that eventually destroyed 2 buildings and damaged several others. Detectives say surveillance video was critical in this case. Fire sparked in August 2019 in an abandoned driving range near Northeast 85th and Siskiyou. It caused $2 million in damages. Both the prosecutor and defense attorney say Singerhouse, who was addicted to meth at the time, never intended for the fire to get out of hand. And in court today, here's what Singerhouse said.
I would like to apologize to those affected by my reckless decisions that day. Those poor decisions destroyed property and put innocent lives in danger of not only the homeowners, but of the firefighters in general. For that, I am truly sorry. I thank God that no one was injured that day.
Singerhouse added when he gets out of prison, he plans to take an active role in his recovery community. In Salem, the GOP walkout entered its 14th day in the Senate, with Republicans refusing to return to the chamber because of the contents of bills around abortion, gender-affirming care, and gun safety, which some have called hyper-partisan. As of last count, 10 senators are now disqualified from re-election, according to a new state law, one some say they plan to challenge in court. Meanwhile, the House has passed a bill to clear the Senate in April, one that would require Oregon schools to teach students about fentanyl and its dangers. As Blair Best explains, the goal is not only to educate, but to save lives.
It seems as if drugs and fentanyl are everywhere. Overdoses are up, people are dying, and police point to these cheap blue pills as a main factor. And everyone seems to have a say on the issue, like longtime Portlander Alan Johnson.
It's just a crisis in the making. Obviously, the crisis has been made already.
That crisis also making its way into schools, and the reason for a bill that just passed the House last week, calling for age-appropriate fentanyl curriculum to be added to existing drug and alcohol classes in middle and high schools.
Being from my age group, there's been drugs in schools all the time, whether it's marijuana, meth, cocaine, and now fentanyl.
The bill also aims to educate students on the laws that provide immunity to people who report fentanyl use or seek treatment.
And a sneaky thing like fentanyl bears learning about.
Now, this bill comes at a critical time as police respond to an increase in fentanyl overdoses on our streets and in our schools. Earlier this year, a student here at Franklin High died of a suspected fentanyl overdose. And last year, 2 other students died the same way from McDaniel High. According to data from Multnomah County's health department, opioid misuse among youth is dropping, but overdoses are up.
Youth will have access to whatever is in their environment.
And given how easy fentanyl is to get, this is no surprise to Multnomah County health officers like Dr. Teresa Everson.
The drugs are there, and I do think it's really important for us to recognize the change in trends in drug, and to be able to keep up with that and make sure that youth are armed with the information that they need.
At the county level, Dr. Everson says they're enhancing youth drug screening and upping Narcan distribution, among other things.
Do you really think that adding this type of education in schools will truly make a difference in curbing this crisis among youth?
I hope so. This feels like a cliche, but it's true that knowledge is power. If people know what the real risks are and then have really specific information about what to do when they're worried or where to go for information, I think that's absolutely helpful.
Yeah, we have to keep talking about it. Blair Best reporting there. The next step here for the governor to sign that bill. New at 11, local students are getting a lesson in philanthropy by awarding grants to community organizations they think deserve more support. This was night one of award ceremonies for the Communicare program. Students in the metro area research nonprofits interviewed them and reviewed their proposals to decide who would receive those funds. The nonprofits getting grants ranged from youth outreach to immigration counseling to help for animal hospitals.
I think grant making, just in general, I think that everyone should do it. I mean, I've never done it before until 3 years ago, but I think I'm definitely going to look for more opportunities like this when I go to college.
It was just a really great thing to see so many young people who want to, make our society much better by supporting these organizations.
What a great idea. The students also did the fundraising. Their efforts were matched 10 times over by the Harold and Arlene Schnitzer Care Foundation. And that means the Portland students got to reward more than $770,000 in grants. Way to go. Other schools will be participating in award ceremonies over the next 3 nights.